Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. I had some weird stuff going on in my normal recording setup, so I apologize for the normal, boring room and probably the bad acoustics, okay? But I did come across something that I wanted to talk about today that I thought was very intriguing. And if you know me, I'm all about health. I'm all about mental health. I'm all about physical health. Clearly, you can tell that I am very in shape. But I came across somebody who is going beyond health. They're trying to de-age themselves. Turn back the clock, spit God right in the face. And who am I talking about, you might ask? Brian Johnson, aka the Millionaire Tech Vampire. Right? Brian Johnson, where do I even start? Why don't we start back when Brian Johnson, he was 24 years old. Brian Johnson was chronically depressed. Hey, who isn't, dude? I'm fucking depressed all the time. I'm depressed right now. Are you depressed, Nick? Nick's also depressed. He's over there. He's telling me he's depressed too. And at one point in his life, he said, I want my soul to be extinguished. I don't know who actually says that in real life, but he's feeling maybe a little depressed, all right? My soul needs to be extinguished. What did he do? Why do you need your soul to be extinguished? I don't know.
Hey guys, we have a Black Friday sale going on right now with exclusive new merch. Papa Meat Rat Fink Motorhead kind of Goblin Man shirt. Looks really cool. We're restocking some old favorites. We're even doing a pre-order again for the hat. So sale listings right here, the dates and stuff. Give him a little pose, Harry. Wow. Click the link in the description or probably in the comment section as well. And be sure to snag some goodies for your holiday season. Back to the video.
But now, Brian is trying to live forever, or at least until he says 120. Brian is trying to live to 120 years old, which, you know, I don't think that's ever been done. What's the oldest living person ever?
116.
Right now? Why doesn't he just copy what they do, if that's his goal? 116. Ooh, Brian wants to beat by 4 years. Good man. Doing this venture, Brian spends $2 million a year. God. You have to be wealthy to do what Brian does, but where did Brian get all this money? Brian Johnson made a substantial fortune in his early 30s when he sold his payment processing company, Braintree Payment Solutions. I don't really know if I like that company name. Not very catchy it doesn't matter. Which had been acquired by Venmo in 2012 for $26.2 million, and then to PayPal in 2013 for about $800 million.
And then I made $300 million of that.
He's got some fat stacks. He's got some deep pockets. Which, you know what, Brian? Good for you, dude. How do I get there? I want to be, who's the guy who made Minecraft and he lives alone in a mansion now? Notch? I want to be Notch. Does he say racist things? Is that what it is or no?
Red pill.
He says red pill things. Oh, I definitely want to be Notch. I want to be Notch so bad. After he made this giant fortune, he turned his back on the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormon, got a divorce, and became obsessed with de-aging himself. Which, honestly, the idea of someone getting a fat paycheck, which also, you know, I'm not saying this is exactly what happened. This is just what we found and stuff. But I like to think it all happened in one day. I like to think that as soon as he got the check, he was just like, fuck you, Mormonism. Honestly, sweetie, we're done. I don't care if we have a family or not. Peace. Also, I want to be 8 years old again. I like to think that all came in about one day. And with all of this financial assets now and with these deep pockets, Brian decides to use his resources and start his anti-aging venture, which he just calls the Vampire. Which is a cute name, but it also is kind of super villainy to me. I don't know why. I mean, it only affects himself, but at the same time, I feel like he's trying to unlock something that maybe we don't know, and that scares me, Brian. Okay? If you're watching this, Brian, maybe I'm afraid of you. The vampire? Really? Brian? Brian likes to say he is a self-proclaimed professional rejuvenation athlete. A millionaire. He's a millionaire. is what that really means. I'm a professional rejuvenation athlete, aka I'm a millionaire. Which, once again, he invests around $2 million a year, and the $2 million is all aimed to reduce his biological age, which I think it'd be funny if he also legally put some of that money and said, like, no, I'm 14. Like, that would be funny. But no, it's just his biological age, not his real age. He spends more money on his body than LeBron James spends on his body being a professional athlete every year. I just don't think you can buy back the years. I think genetics have too much to do into this, but you know what? What do I know? I'm not the tech millionaire vampire. But in 2022, Brian Johnson, he showed the world and he set a world record, which I don't know what kind of world record this is, for de-aging. Is that a thing? Does Guinness come out for that? He reversed his epigenetic age by 5.1 years and 7 months. And I wanted to know who was the person that officiated this world record, and why are we keeping a world record of people reversing their age. I feel like he has to be the only person doing it, right? I don't know. He has other accolades as well. The most measured man in human history, which is kind of fun because he kind of is in the same hall as Chris Chan, who is the most documented man in history. And now Brian gets to be on the pedestal right next to him, which is the most measured man. At least you're in the same hallway in terms of Guinness Book of World Records stuff, right? Currently, some fun factoids from him is that right now, Brian Johnson is 46 years old. Is that his birth age or his?
It's his chronological.
So that's his actual chronological age. His chronological age is 46 years old, but currently his heart right now is that of a biological 37-year-old. And he has the lung capacity of an 18-year-old. When I start spitting these numbers out, I really need you to not be dumb and retain this information. I don't know. He is a heavily renovated car, is what I like. You know, the engine might be this old, but the tires are this old. I really enjoy that about Brian. He's like a Bionicle. He's like the red Bionicle, the coolest one. I don't want any comments saying that the red Bionicle wasn't the coolest one because we all clearly fucking know that it was. It was the literal branding for Bionicle, dude. All right?
I like the white one.
The white one is whatever. Stupid fucking mask with the big, he has like one little like scope eye. Yeah, I am right, dude. The red one has a fucking flame sword, dude. So you're probably wondering, what does he do? We talk a lot about him de-aging himself, but how does he do it? How can I do it? He calls his process Project Blueprint. And while looking up the website, it's just a website that sells olive oil. I like a nice olive oil, but that doesn't tell me really how to de-age myself. So I had to dig further. I like the white one, he says. Yeah, they're all cool, but the red one's the coolest, man.
Isn't that the shield and the...
Yeah, he has the shield because he's a pussy. The red one has a fucking flame sword, dude. Brian has a team of 30, Brian has a team of 30 doctors, clinicians. What?
Clinicians.
30 doctors and researchers who work on the second floor above his home. That's literal Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation stuff, okay? You sleep on the first floor, and on the second floor, people are trying to figure out how to make you the $1 billion man. First floor is you getting to watch Despicable Me with your son. Second floor, fucking Stark Industries. Like the Iron Man suit is being built right above you. Pretty crazy. Honestly, a bit of a flex too. He has a strict bedtime and sleeps 8.5 hours straight every night, all right? Brian has even started pelvic floor training so he doesn't have to get up in the middle of the night to pee, which interrupts his precious sleep. The man is literally telling his body, I'm going to do this and you're going to listen. If anything, I kind of wish it just said he pissed in the bed. I'm not gonna get up. I will pee in my sleep and I don't care. I'm so rich that I can just change my bed covers whenever I want. Oh, dude, if he did that, then he's like an 8-year-old. Then you become a child. Brian, piss yourself in your bed. Become a child in that way. It pushes your narrative even more. Please pee-pee in your bed. Make pee-pee and caca in your bed whenever you can.
It stops premature ejaculation.
Pelvic floor training stops premature ejaculation? Why would you want to stop that? You know what's the cool thing about premature ejaculation is you get yours immediately. All this huss and fuss, dude. I honestly I committed to that, but I thought you were talking about wet dreams. Have you ever had a wet dream before?
I have. They're awful.
Oh, I love them.
You wake up sticky.
Oh, I love
wet dreams. It's not real.
Oh, dude, I've only had one wet dream in my life, and it was probably the biggest oyster I've ever had. It was unbelievable.
I think having it once is like, whoa, that's cool. But if you have it like 20 times,
you had it 20 times?
A lot. It's bad.
You've had a bunch of... I've only had it happen once, and I remember being like, I wish it would happen every night.
Well, I stopped like masturbating for like a year, so...
I'm not getting into your masturbation regimen here, so... Back to the video here. Let's watch Brian's morning routine. Brian Johnson's YouTube banner reads, "Don't die." For a 46-year-old man, he looks like a 46-year-old man. He looks like a really in shape, good 46-year-old man, all right? Which also at the same time, just look like a 46-year-old man. Why do you care?
Hi everybody, good morning. I just woke up. I'm pretty sleepy.
If anything, it's creepier, and this is no offense to him, because honestly, great body. Kinda has like Bruce Jenner hair, which that's fine. I like his dog tag. Oh, that's just a DJI mic. He has like a Patrick Bateman thing going on, except it's like you look 40, but you look like a nice 40. There's 40-year-olds out there who look 70. I guess that's the thing with me is you can age gracefully, yet I think it's fine to look mature. I never mind a mature-looking person. And I think this whole gimmick so far of the de-aging process is a fear of death. It's a fear of your own mortality. It's somebody trying to cling on to something that they're desperately afraid of, even though it's something that the bell tolls for everybody. It doesn't matter. We're gonna keep watching his morning routine.
The first thing I'm going to do is use this Braun thermal scan device. I measure my inner ear temperature every day. The temp this morning was 96.
Dude, I like running hot. If I woke up and I was at 96 degrees, I'd be fucking pissed. I'd be like, dude, why the fuck aren't the engines going? And you know what? I can't wait till I die of a heart attack because my body was working so hard that it just simply, the engines blew up. Fuck all this stuff of dying regular, dude. I want to die hard. You know what I mean? I don't want to die peacefully in my sleep. I want to die gasping with my sleep apnea and fucking having a heart attack in my sleep from simply existing. My body says it's too hard to simply be. That's how I want to go out, dude. Wonder what happens if he has a cold. Like if Brian Johnson's ever sick, does he just like fucking have a meltdown? I'm dying, I'm dying.
I wake up normally when it's dark outside, and so I can't see the sun. And so in place of the sun, I'll use this device. It helps set circadian rhythm. It improves sleep.
What the fuck is circadian rhythm?
That's your sleep schedule.
Your sleep schedule is called circadian rhythm? I feel like he could just go into a general practice and be a doctor. With how he talks about this stuff, I feel like he could just be like, you're 4 degrees over and that's because of this. Now see, I run at 72 degrees below zero, and that's because I eat greens and I sleep. And I don't drink juice. I feel like that's kind of an idea.
Trying to get my iron levels up. They're borderline. They're okay, just borderline.
What the fuck does iron do? What does iron do? Look that up real quick, Nick. I remember my doctor told me that too, and for like 2 years I took like Flintstone chewables, extra iron.
Iron is a mineral that body needs for growth and development. Your body uses iron to make hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to all parts of the body, and myoglobin, a protein that provides oxygen to muscle.
Iron attaches to hemoglobin.
Myoglobin.
And they distribute shit to your body. I think that babies need it. I feel like a preschooler.
I'll weigh myself every day.
And he weighs himself every morning? That is a horror story I would never do. Every day just being like, how does it happen? How do I keep getting bigger?
5 minutes of light therapy. It's blue light and it keeps my complexion clear. I'll focus on my breathing.
I'd have a panic attack. Light therapy, it keeps my complexion up. Dude, fuck the complexion. My God. This looks like a Cronenberg device. Like, I would seriously have a panic attack. It's like that one scene in 2001: A Space Odyssey when the baby comes out. Well, maybe that's why he does it. Maybe he feels like he's turning into a giant baby.
My morning routine is about 3 to 4 hours. It varies on a given day.
A morning routine being 3 to 4 hours. Who has the time? That's the thing, I guess, is if you're a millionaire, you're not going to a job. Also, it's just, this feels like a prison sentence, if I'm being completely honest. Like, yeah, all these things are beneficial to you, but like, God forbid you fall out of line once. What do? Do you just fold in on yourself like a goddamn neutron star? I don't know, man. You have to have some serious micromanaging skills just to do this shit. I always feel good when I wake up and I make eggs. You know what I mean? You start the day off with some nice eggs and like some sweet potato hash browns. Like, I didn't think there was a better way to start the day. That takes me like 20 minutes. I'm missing 3.5 hours of other stuff I guess I should be doing, if I'm being honest.
It's somewhere between 4:30 and 6 a.m. I wake up.
Wake up between 4:30 and 6 a.m. Dude, him and Mark Wahlberg gotta hang out. Mark Wahlberg wakes up at the same time, but he prays for a long time. And Brian walked out of the church. I don't think Mark would fucking like that at all.
The morning pills, my team organizes all the pills.
Bro, it takes more fucking pills than my grandma who was in hospice.
Yeah, it takes 100 a day.
It takes 100 pills a day? God damn, dude.
Over 50, maybe 60. That looks like a lot more.
How the fuck do you take pills like that, dude?
Some fermented foods. This is 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil.
That looks horrible.
If you're 10 to 20 right now in life, what I would give to go back in time and begin this way of living at that age.
It's impossible, though. You're talking about between 10 and 20 years old, you have to be a millionaire to do this kind of living. Because it isn't just eating a plate of green slop. It's the amount of time and money that goes into this is insane. Brian follows a strict diet consisting exactly of 1970 to 1977 vegan calories per day, ensuring he eats at a caloric deficit of 12. His daily meal preparation includes 3 meals named Super veggie, nutty pudding, and a third variable meal composed of vegetables, nuts, seeds, and berries. These meals are methodically crafted based on scientific evidence for optimal nutrition, and they look like the bowl of slop that the stay out of the basement dad gives to his children. He allocates 15% of his caloric intake to extra virgin olive oil per his website. That's why whenever I went there, it's olive oil. He loves I love olive oil. I'm gonna taste it. We should buy some. I do like in the videos though that he's just like, you know, you probably think I'm insane.
I can imagine you viewing me and being like, this guy is nuts. Probably true.
I don't think anybody's crazy for doing this kind of stuff. It just feels like a prison sentence. Like if you're admitting to yourself that you're a guinea pig, I feel like I'm like, is that just a life worth living? If you live forever, but you have to do this forever, are you really living? But it's just because I think it's insane because I could never see myself doing it. Nor could I see any other human being on earth do it. He puts lights on his head, he works out a lot, and he gets sleep. Seems like a very normal thing, but it's to an excess. This 4-hour beginning regimen is pretty crazy. At the same time, it's very interesting. And if his whole life is based around the scientific research of him trying to de-age himself, why not? But I do wonder about the psychological reasons of why. Why? In the video, he's he's a charismatic son of a bitch, if I'm being honest. I like him. Would I want to do any of the morning stuff? No, but I'd love to get like a cheeseburger with him. I wouldn't want to eat the veggie slop. I was gonna say we could hang out, we could eat the veggie plate, but I don't know if I'd want to eat the veggie plate. We could watch an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. He's 46. There's no way Brian doesn't like Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody who's 40 years or older loves Everybody Loves Raymond. We'd get along, me and Brian. The reason I was so intrigued is because amongst billionaires and millionaires, there is something that is pretty, I don't know if it's common, but it does happen. Young blood transfusion. Brian practices in young blood transfusion and parabiosis. And this is where my mind became very interested because it's very, very similar to the normal process of which vampires get their blood, right? Lures in a young person, usually like somebody who's like a teenager, and steals their blood, sucks their neck, right? Well, Brian has a son named Tailgate. What's his name? Talmage. His plasma, which is rich in proteins, nutrients, and hormones, is expected to have rejuvenating effects.
Final thing is I'm preparing for my son Talmage to go to school in 2 months. He's my best friend. We do everything together. I'm beginning to plan what I'm going to do when he's not here. And so I have a solution. Talmage, do you want to have breakfast with me today? How are you? Talmage, what's happening today?
I understand that it's just a bit, but that actually, I'm not gonna lie, that scared the shit out of me. Is he holding a vial of his own blood that he's giving to his father? Brian, you got a sick sense of fucking humor, dude. Do I think Brian is coercing his son into giving him blood? No. I think it's a mutually beneficial thing somehow. His son gets to hang out with his dad, and his dad gets to harvest his blood, which is I think that's a fair trade. Also, if you can make kids just to steal blood, like you look at them like blood bags, awesome. The idea that you get to have sex, make a child, and then in time that thing becomes a viable blood bag for you, that's your God-given right in America, dude. You do what you have to. And if anybody has anything fucking negative to say about it, you can say, you know what, dude, my company got sold to Venmo. What the fuck did you do, all right? Also, this is my 17-year-old boy that I have a cardboard cutout of, and he's holding his own blood. He doesn't care, so fuck off. It takes multiple exchanges with this, so it's not just like it's a one-time thing. I think that Brian's bringing his son in every day. It'd be funny, so funny if he's like, this is my son, and it looks like a 98-year-old man. This is my son, Tailgate. How's it going, Tailgate? He's like, I can't wait to give my dad more blood. I love you, father. And he's like, don't touch me. Don't touch my skin. I haven't put olive oil and light on it. This whole de-aging parabiosis young blood thing became popular over the study of sewing a younger rat onto an older rat, and the older rat got kinda young. I don't think that there was enough research, but it was one of those things where all the millionaires and billionaires were just like, well, if we did this but bigger, I would come out of this looking 14 years old again. I could live until the sun explodes. But it ignores the fact that humans are not rats. Also, regardless of improved health and tests, all of the rats died within 2 weeks of the testing. No matter how much something improved, every single rat died in the 2-week testing period, okay? And people were just like, yeah, sure, but you know, I'm sure it'll be fine this way. To really get the benefits here, we would also need to, just need to transfer organs, or we could hook it up, just a series of tubes, which maybe Brian's working on that. That's probably why he started the social media venture, is to get more money to fund the transfer organ machine. He's testing all this, and I will say that the medical community's stance on this is that the US FDA, the United States Food and Drug Administration, for people who don't know what the fuck that is, they have issued warnings against young blood transfusions for anti-aging purposes due to the lack of proven clinical benefits and potential risks. It hasn't even been approved by the FDA, which, you know, people, conspiracy theorists out there will say this and that about the FDA, but I would listen to them on the anti-aging thing. I don't really think they have much to gain, so I think they're going to be pretty honest. Blood transfusion and then blood de-aging, I think it's a lot like being a chiropractor. Nobody in the medical field is like, they're doctors. They're just kind of like, they'll crack you. And there's nothing really scientifically proven to say that it works. After 2 years of following his blueprint algorithm, Brian has reportedly slowed the pace of his aging by the equivalent of 31 years and is now aging slower than the average 10-year-old. Than the average 10-year-old, okay? His body and muscle fat is ideal, and he has perfect liver fat, which, you know, his fat hovers around 5 to 6%. The founder of PayPal does blood transfusions. It's popular amongst rich people. Jeff Bezos made the news in 2022 for investing over $1 billion into Altos Labs, a biotech company working toward cellular rejuvenation programming. This is all made up shit. This is the fucking problem, dude. Is you need to have rich assholes can come in and I could just be like, I'm gonna make your cells gold. And rich people will just be like, my God, I'm gonna put as much funds, which is $1 billion, Jeff Bezos. He's just like, I mean, I can queef that out to you, dude. I don't care. What do you do? Can you make me immortal? Okay. Would I do this? No. I wouldn't want to be immortal, if I'm being honest. I don't want to live so long that the sun explodes and then I just eviscerate anyways. Also, there's no way that you would ever be able to remain young enough to where you're perpetually in this. I feel like parts of you would be young, but your body over time would just like fossilize and you'd just be like, I'm so happy I'm alive. But all in all, you know what, Brian? I think that you're an interesting man. And I think that on YouTube, it's one of the more interesting fitness, health-related channels because everyone else is just so fucking boring. They lift weights, they do all this stuff. Brian is stealing the blood from his child and making himself young again. I love that. What's funny though is with this thing is that Brian, he talks about, you know, putting a fucking light mask on him, doing meditation, getting some sleep and eating veggies. And then I also take my son's blood. All right, they're all equal factors into my de-aging thing. I feel like there's a lot of people who probably does what he does, like eats their veggies. Sure, they might have Buffalo Wild Wings every once in a while, but I think the vast majority that's separating us from him is the fact that I don't have a 17-year-old genetically pure son named Tailgate who's willing to give me plasma. And I want that, Brian. I want that. Allison, I'm putting a boy inside you. I've decreed it. I've decreed that today I am going to put a seed inside my woman. She is going to bear me a son, and I will steal its blood, and I will look like this forever. I'll look like I did when I was 9 years old, but I'll still have facial hair, and I'll still be as witty and awesome as I am now for you all. So look forward to that. Look forward to future videos of me looking like I'm 8. My God, this natural light, I'm glowing, dude. What's weird too is the promotion of like, it feels like you're also just modifying plastic surgery, which is like fake. Not that that's even necessary. I don't even care if people do plastic surgery, but it's just the aspect of like, you're trying to defy what the human body wants you to do, but you're also like, well, you know, you can just eat healthy, don't consume as many calories, but then inject fat in your face so you don't look so ghoulish. I don't know. It's weird.